to life, excuse me.
Life 2.0 was last year. Yeah, great place to start.
Yes, that's a great segue because when we did this conference last year, we interviewed Jason Spiergenkopf, who's the director of Life 2.0, because we wanted to discuss cyberculture within Second Life, and Jason was kind enough to invite Kate and I to the preview of the movie in New York and in London, and so we thought it would be a great idea to talk about that cyberculture topic within a conference that's being done in Second Life. And we loved Life 2.0. We're great fans of Life 2.0. But when I stumbled across, and literally I just stumbled across Login to Life, just doing a search on the internet, I was just so heartened by the topic in that Daniel does a great job sort of portraying the positive uses of Second Life, not just the, quote, the dark side. And so, again, we approached Daniel, and he was wonderful about allowing us to screen the movie even before it's released, and it's a wonderful documentary. I recommend it. And so that's how we ended up sort of doing this 2 years in a row. So now Life 2.0 is out, and Daniel will talk more about when and how we can view Login to Life. And so I'm just going to do a real informal introduction of Kate and myself, and then I'll introduce Daniel, and we'll go from there. I'm Deanna Nagel, and in Second Life I'm Deanna Madfus, and my co-founder of the Online Therapy Institute is Kate Elise Larnia in Second Life, Kate Anthony in her first life. And we at Online Therapy Institute are all about disseminating information, educating, providing training, and creating a collaborative network that encompasses Web 2.0. So it's all about the collective learning. And this is a great platform to do this. So let me talk a little bit about Login to Life and Daniel. Login to Life portrays 7 human beings around the globe benefiting from their activities in synthetic online worlds like Second Life and World of Warcraft. The main subject lies in overcoming isolation, but ranges to fame and glory achievements and currents into economical intentions through participating in these overwhelming worlds. Daniel Moschel is a gamer and an award-winning director. He was inspired to make this documentary by his personal experience. But this is about more than just gaming. This is about a new lifestyle. Necessary for some, fun for most. Bits and pieces of digital life, glimpses linked within a larger network, a personal view of what drives the people behind the screen to live, love, and do business in a virtual world. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to take about a 1-minute pause. I'm going to place a link into the chat, which is the 50-second trailer of Login to Life. So if you click that link, you should be able to pull it up in your browser, and then we'll continue with the questions and answers in about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. So let me get that link.
Okay, I think if everyone's finished there, hope you enjoyed that. Deanna's just crashed, unfortunately, so she'll be back shortly. In the meantime, this is Kate, and I'll take over. If everyone's ready, could you just confirm in the chat room? Great. Lovely. Okay, I thought it'd be a good place to start to ask Daniel a bit about before you came to log into Life, a bit about your work in general, your life in general, and how you came to be a film director in the first place.
Okay, check 1, 2. I hope you can hear me.
Yep, that's good.
Good. So, film director. How did I become a film director? I think I started with doing sports videos, really trivial things when I grew up, when I was a teenager. I filmed my friends and me doing sports stuff, and of course you're growing up. Mostly you have fun. The most important thing in your life and vision in your mind. And now I'm 35 years old. And I started at 13 years old, so this is more than half a life ago. And
Wow.
so I started studying after the school, started studying multimedia. Why? Because I thought multimedia is the nearest study from my home village in the mountains in Berchtesgaden, and so I thought multimedia has something to do with video, and it's fun again. And so after there, I did my first short film. It was a narrative story, also more comedy, and really how can I say that? It was more, it scratched the surface. It wasn't really, it wasn't meaningful, I guess it's the right word. And then my parents told me, okay, now you have to start earning money, and I started doing commercial stuff like image films and some advertising. And then I felt a little bit empty, because there was no content in my life, and I was frustrated, and I started playing World of Warcraft, and then I get this special kick out of that, because I was always a gaming child before too, so this wasn't a game anymore, because it was a kind of social network. I don't have to tell you anything here about this. I think you know better than me. Then social activities in an online game is not just playing a game. Even in World of Warcraft, it is something else. And this became really meaningful to me, and I thought, okay, I'm a filmmaker, and I want to do a documentary. Why not doing a documentary about this phenomenon? And so I started to do research on that, because my wife is much more meaningful than me. She told me, you can't just portray World of Warcraft gamers because it's boring. And I thought, yeah, I agree to this. I read a lot, and there was a book named Parallel Realities. This was a book about the phenomenon of World of Warcraft and Second Life as well, and it portrayed also some positive effects. And I was really astonished about this book. I can't tell you what's the exact name. It was about a young German writer who did this. I can look it up and post it later. And this gave me the research fundamentals to write a basic script on something which was called Homo Ludens Online. And this was the pre-name of Login to Life. This was 5 years ago. And it was the starting script of going into the big voyage of this documentary. This documentary evolved over the years and got focused on special characters, and after 2 years or something, the real script was born, and it was called Login to Life. It was a long way, because it took us a long time to get the funding for this movie. And yes, and after 5 years from the basic idea, it is finished now, with the help of a lot of people, and I'm really happy to sit here in front of you and have this and I appreciate really much to sit in front of an audience and talk about this now. It's really fresh now. So
Okay,
this is,
great.
I hope it wasn't too long now.
That's fine. Deanna, welcome back.
Thank you. I obviously had another agenda I wasn't aware of. But that's, that's technology. It crashes occasionally. So part of doing the work that we do is being aware that sometimes the technology will not cooperate. So I know, Daniel, you've told us a bit about how you became a film director, and you've set it up somewhat, but is there anything else you want to say about Log Into Life in terms of a brief summary of the film? We watched the 50-second trailer. Is there anything else?
Of course I can tell you something about the film. The trailer is not really representative because we did this in the very beginning of the editing phase of Log Into Life early this year, and there we had to put out a trailer really fast, and we did it in 1 week. The film is about 7 people benefiting in doing activities in online worlds, and the life we log into the trailer is Gentle Heron's life. I think you guys know about her. Audience, I guess, and she's also the main protagonist, and she's a wonderful woman who helps a lot of other people in Second Life, handicapped people also, especially handicapped people, but also healthy people. And I think that's why I decided that, because she's like, for me, she's like a digital Mother Therese. And the other people who are benefiting on doing online activities are, for example, an online, the most famous gamer in World of Warcraft. For a long time, he managed to earn money in just playing World of Warcraft. The other guy is a filmmaker in World of Warcraft, a French funny filmmaker who does obvious films in World of Warcraft with sex-related topics. But in World of Warcraft, the sex is the last thing you can do. So that's really funny about this guy. Then I have also a gold farmer, guy from China, who earns his money in slaughtering pixel monsters in World of Warcraft and supporting thus his family. Then I have, of course, the famous German musician J9 Scarborough. She's a resident in Second Life and managed also to get a kind of celebrity status here. And then I have Stroker Serpentine. I don't think I have to tell you something about this guy. And also I feature of course, the missing link is Corey, and Corey is a handicapped guy who joins somehow the worlds of World of Warcraft and Second Life because he plays World of Warcraft, is a quadriplegic, also member of Gentle's group, Virtual Ability. Jump cut between these different people, and this was a kind of stylistic device to use to have special moments in the film where I can go from this topic to another without losing the red line, if there's something like this in English. Hope this wasn't too confusing.
No, thanks for that. I think one of the things that struck Deanna and I when we watched the preview of it is that this time last year we were interviewing the director of a film about Second Life that tended to concentrate somewhat on the more negative sides of it, of relationships splitting up. And I feel that the contrast with Log Into Life is very much a positive examination of the aspects of virtual and indeed gaming worlds. I guess that was a deliberate strategy.
Yes. Wait a second. Yeah, of course. I always was a little bit. I was sorry for this word, but I was pissed about the fact that always when you see public media and reports in TV on radio. Be in gamers and in virtual worlds, potential losers and killers and stuff like that. And so I was really thinking, hey, I'm belonging to this group of people, and I think 90% of these people having somehow a healthy life like other people too, and as healthy as other people. And this, there are always negative sides, and I wanted to do a movie.
Okay. Daniel,
Is
do
it
you
too
still
long?
have sound?
Did I talk too long?
No,
it's
voice
fine.
keeps cutting out.
There seems to be some sound problems with your voice, and occasionally the answer cuts out for a few seconds. But we will be providing a transcript of this, so if you miss anything for the delegates attending, we can sort that out. Deanna, do you want to talk a bit about Gentle Heron? Would you like to join us on stage? Maybe?
Gentle Heron, Alice Kruger, is the head of Virtual Ability in Second Life, and it's a small nonprofit charitable corporation. And the purpose of Virtual Ability is to support the work of Virtual Ability community in virtual worlds such as Second Life. And I knew of Gentle Heron and Virtual Ability a few years ago. I wrote an article for a publication, Telehealth World, and I mentioned Virtual Ability. And so when I saw the trailer for Log Into Life, I had no idea that Alice was in fact, Gentle Heron was in fact Virtual Ability. So it was great to see that all come together, at least in my head. So Daniel, if you'd like to say anything about Alice or include her in this conversation, how did you and Alice end up working together?
I had, of course, a wonderful researcher in Second Life because I wasn't strong in Second Life. I came here, I think 2006 or 2007. I don't know when I was born here, but I didn't have a clue, and so I did some ridiculous interviews on people, and so I met Dragster Dupre, and Dragster, I fell in love with him really soon, and I talked with him a lot about possible people which I want to feature in and then Gentle's name came up, and he recommended to talk with her, and I did this. I talked with her, I met with her, and I think this was a nice friendship. And after a while, I think after 3 months, I visited her in Denver, and I did my first interview with her, which provided also the footage for the trailer you will see later. I call this the development trailer, and this was produced on overall time, I think 3 weeks, 10 days of traveling a little bit the world, and it was just the intention was to have something in our hands to go for further funding. Yes, and so I met Gentle, and she's like my second mother, I would say.
That's lovely.
Gentle, do you want to say anything? Or chat anything?
Say something?
Okay, that's fair enough. Perhaps we can tempt you in towards the end when we have questions from the floor. Daniel, a similar process with the other participants in the film, particularly the gamers within the film. I'm really interested to know how you linked up with those, particularly the people who are gaming overnight seriously. How did you hook up with the World of Warcraft people? Was that because of your own gaming?
Partly that's right, but it wasn't a little. It was a little bit harder to get in touch with the gamers, especially then when I was looking for a guy who's also member of Gentle's group and is handicapped and is playing also World of Warcraft. It seemed to me that there wasn't too many Second Life. There weren't too many Second Life residents who also participated in World of Warcraft. So I was looking very long, and I had kind of casting here in Europe, and where we looked in for this kind of person, and at the end it was like somebody said hello in Gentle's group, and it was Corey, and she recommended the contact to me when I was actually filming here the first time in Denver, Colorado. And then after a while I got in touch with him, and so also we met then 1 year later, and I filmed him the first time. And Kungan, the lead gamer, this was a little bit different. I had some researchers also in World of Warcraft, and they gave me a link to this elite guild. And so this guy is really shy, and it was really hard to get in touch with him. At first he said no, and then he said okay, and it took me, I think, 2 years of preparation work to get the first pictures of him. And the gold farmer was really hard also, because gold farming is not really because the media portrays gold farming as something bad, and it isn't really allowed from the game developer Blizzard Entertainment. That's why gold farmers have really bad experiences in media coverage, so it was really hard to get connected to one. I think just 2 weeks before the actual shoot, half a year ago, I got the permission to go to Dandong. This is a small city of 2 million people. I didn't know who I will visit there. I just went there blind, and I had a wonderful experience with the gold farmer family. Even the mother of this gold farmer used to play World of Warcraft for earning money, and his girlfriend too. So this was a really super. Yeah, I think, and the filmmaker, of course, he was pretty easy to catch. I had to spend some bucks on his website, and for how you say that, if you donate, if you donate, because his films you like his films. I donated voluntarily $10, and then he got in touch with me, and I asked him if he wanted to participate, and then I had him in the film boat as well.
Oh, that's very cool.
And that sort of leads into the next question, which is, the people that share their stories in Log Into Life share very vulnerable moments. And how were you able to ensure their emotional safety as the project moved along? Because it sounds like some of the people that you contacted had some reservations and were a little shy about sharing their personal stories.
I haven't showed everybody the movie yet, and I hope that nobody will be offended when seeing the movie. I just related to myself. I wouldn't portray somebody this way how I would. I always ask me the question, would I portray myself like this? And when I felt a no, then I didn't put the scene into the picture. Yes, then I put it inside the picture. It's a simple answer.
So you just sort of used your own level of integrity and authenticity to determine what to put in the film, and that makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. One of the things I spotted when watching it, and I think this comes up in the longer trailer we're showing, or it might have been on the previous one, Gentleman Heron comments, and I'm paraphrasing slightly here, Alice, apologies for that, the Second Life is not a substitute for real life, but it sure is a whole lot better than nothing, and that she just has to figure out how to translate it to real life, which I think is an extremely powerful thing to say. I was wondering about your opinion on the outcome, the effect that virtual living has on the physical or first life. Your opinion.
Give me a second, please. like I said in like I said already in the press conference in Munich, which was ridiculous, I think that great media to Second Life or virtual world to things which I wouldn't try in real life, and also to try things and then to put him on stage after I tried it. And this is something, I think it gives some self-confidence if you. So it's that's just a side effect. The most important feature of this online world is that you have a question form which is not connected to your appearance, to your physical appearance, and like for me, it's nothing else than a communication device, which is really powerful. It's a substitute for real life at all, but it's an enhancement and an acceleration, and a kind of new media which has all the advantages and new advantages. So that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, and there's been some really interesting research coming up. I was reading a paper just the other day regarding empirical research programs that have looked at the effect of being in Second Life with a very attractive avatar, and then going to other photos of other people and choosing which you would actually approach to ask out on a date, and the results showed that the level of self-esteem was much higher after being in Second Life. So I thought that was a really interesting point. Sorry, Deanna, I've digressed a bit.
Oh, no problem. It fits.
Mm-hmm.
And that also, Daniel, do you also analyze or did you talk to people with less emotional experiences than those featured? Those who simply hang out or use Second Life for business purposes like we do at Online Therapy Institute? Or do you think everybody has a story? For instance, when I first came into Second Life, I came into Second Life strictly for the purpose of having another business persona, creating a virtual office that really acts as like a 3D version of our website. And for the most part, my presence in Second Life is very professional. My name is the same in First Life and Second Life. I never have a bad hair day in Second Life, but I look similar to my avatar, although my avatar never ages. But I'm just wondering if you if you feel like everybody has a story, or do you think some people just hang out for a little bit or just use it for business purposes? What's been your experience of that?
I think everybody has a story, of course, and it doesn't matter how you enter Second Life, whatever intention you have. But I think this depends really much on, like you said, if you're entering it and you carry your own name and you don't use it as a role play, or even if you use it as a role play, then I think you always relate to emotions which you experience when you are when you are in Second. It depends the emotional level. I think it depends on the deepness of this emotional experience. If you're just hanging around and dancing and don't care about the people who are around you, then you won't. I mean, you won't have a Second Life story, I guess. But if your emotional connection to the people around you in Second Life is raising, then you are, of course, bound a little bit more to this immersive effect of Second Life or this virtual world. So I guess this depends on how much emotions do you put into this, how much effort do you put into the connections between the people you deal with, and this is the measure tool for this connection.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, I do too. After I watched the film, I spent some time Googling it and looking at the blogs that were forming as a result of seeing the trailers or indeed of seeing the film and the media coverage. And as I mentioned earlier, certainly from a UK perspective, the media coverage of Second Life tends to focus on the negative, whereas this is the more positive aspects of gaming and overcoming disability and forming a business. Just some examples from the film. One of the blogs I read suggested that the participants were, and I quote, groundbreaking pioneers of a lifestyle that will be commonplace in the near future. The word that interested me there was groundbreaking, or the two words was groundbreaking pioneers, whereas I think Second Life has now been around enough to be more normalised. Would you agree with that, Daniel?
It was a laggy when you said your last question. I didn't get the last question, sorry.
Okay, it's really if you see your actual participants as, and I quote, groundbreaking pioneers of a lifestyle that will be commonplace in the near future, as was suggested on some blogs, whereas, and maybe it's just because Diana and I use Second Life so much for business and media interviews, etc. Do you see your participants as the groundbreaking pioneers, or do you think it's much more widespread than that?
I think everybody is here groundbreaking pioneer. If you look at the numbers of Second Life residents, then or virtual world residents, you can't compare it to, I don't know, Web 2.0 things like Facebook or 800 million compared to, I don't know, 50 million is divided over I don't know how many virtual worlds exist in this 3D worlds on this world, but I think that everybody who participates in this 3D enhanced virtual places is somehow a pioneer, because it's not a mass phenomenon at all right now. I think it will grow over the next years, and so I would count myself also as a groundbreaking pioneer. So,
of course, yeah. Okay, as you know, Diana and I are very much from a mental health and coaching perspective, particularly within our work in educating people about Second Life and within Second Life. One of the things that interested me about the film, and I appreciate that you're not a mental health professional, but your personal take on whether Second Life is a suitable environment for communities in light of them having mental health problems. And I'm thinking about that as opposed to what Gentle Heron did for a group at Virtual Ability to overcome physical disability. Do you think that it's an appropriate place for communities of people with mental illnesses to come together and form those communities as a place of support? And I do appreciate you're not a mental health professional, just interested in your personal opinion, having met people in Second Life.
Of course, I think that. Of course, I think it does. I think Second Life is a great place to if I can say that, treat people and like if you. I think you can't substitute it with everything. So if that's my personal opinion. I mean, if you meet somebody in real, then you have some more facets of this person than you meet somebody in Second Life. You never know. So exactly the whole story from the beginning. So you need to spend more time with the person in Second Life maybe than you would. So I think it's partly yes and partly no. It depends how you use the media to
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I do think there are some incredible opportunities in Second Life for peer support opportunities for people with physical and mental disabilities to find common bonds and offer each other support in ways that can enhance what happens in real life, or in ways that are very different, or even be something that's not available to some people in First Life. And I think that's really what this is about, is that there are ways in Second Life to have experiences that would not ordinarily be available in First Life.
Exactly.
Gentle Heron just wrote, there are over 100 identified peer support groups for people with disabilities and chronic illnesses in Second Life, in English alone. And then, of course, what Kate and I do is teach professionals how to actually offer professional counseling, therapy, and coaching services to people in virtual worlds. And I know that was mentioned in the plenary session, that we do that, but we also are very careful about providing counseling services directly within Second Life due to confidentiality issues like encryption. But there are more and more virtual worlds being built that are either proprietary or offer encryption and voiceover that's confidential. Still, there are a lot of ways that even counselors and coaches can work with their clients in Second Life. So I hope that this encourages people watching to maybe pursue other avenues with their clients in safe ways. So I just wanted to say a little bit about that, because that's ultimately why Kate and I are here. And while we talked about Life 2.0 at the last conference, and we've said, Life 2.0 portrays part of the dark side, as counselors and professional mental health practitioners, we need to be aware where some people do step into this world and find themselves confused, or their lives being taken off track somewhat. So not to digress, but I think that's all part of why we're having this interview.
Yeah.
And so, Daniel, in light of your experience in virtual worlds, has your perception of virtual worlds changed since you began working on Log Into Life?
Of course, it changed. It confirmed my basic assumption that it has great potential, and I was astonished how many possibilities there are. For example, in Gentle's group, help other people to build up a community, and not only on Gentle's group. If I back, or all the different interest groups in Second, somehow like the web search in Google. Even if it's powerful, but you can find almost. Of course, I'm just amazed about the diversity. All user generated. I'm really. It was a confirmation.
Okay, I think I lost a bit of sound there. Anyway, I'm aware of the time. I think, and I'd really like to have some time left for questions from the floor. So maybe just a couple more questions. We also have another trailer to show you, a longer trailer to give you more of a feel for Log Into Life. As Jenna says, Daniel, we're very much into using films such as this, and indeed the one we saw last year, Life 2.0, for educational purposes for mental health online services. I believe the launch date of the film is in October?
Yes, the film will be screened the first time in German TV, 17th of October. It's with German subtitles. 5 of the 7 protagonists are speaking English. 2 of them, one Chinese and one German, yeah, the Chinese is subtitled also in German, of course, and you can check the film afterwards in the Mediathek of the ZDF. I don't have the link right now, but I can post it later. So it will be, for 1 week, it will be available for free download, not download, for streaming, yes. And I don't know when we will show it in the US or internationally, but we are right now in the first phase of marketing and trying to find distributors and stuff like that, and festivals. We entered the Sundance Festival. We hope they will take the film. This would be a good start for the US and the further international marketing of the film. So I keep you, of course, posted. And if you log into live.net or our Facebook page or Twitter or whatever, you will keep updates.
That's great. Thank you for that.
The question in the chat room is, it's live streamed from ZDF. Can anybody in the world view that?
I'm not absolutely sure, but I don't think that they use geo blocking. I think that everybody can view it, but I have to confirm that. I'm not sure. I haven't asked for that right now, but I can provide this information to you, and I can post it also in the blog.
Okay,
thanks.
And for those of you in the chat room and listening, the website is zdf.com.
And the most information you will find on our blog.
Thank you for posting that, Daniel.
Okay, should we go into the other trailer?
Well, let's see. The trailer that we have. Let's see. We have the trailer. It's, I believe it's about 3.5 minutes long. So let's consider this about a 5-minute break. I'm putting the trailer link into the chat room. Daniel says that this was a development trailer from 2008. Of course, there have been some things updated since that time, but it really gives you a good feel for the movie. So let's come back here at 11:50 or so. That's Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll have about 10 minutes for, or just a few minutes actually, for questions and answers, because I know that we need to clear the stage for the next group.